What's going on, guys? T-Rec87 here with MG Nice, and today I have some more gaming news for you. Let's get started. First up in gaming news today, the first thing I wanted to talk about before anything else is there was a new Call of Duty World War II Datamine leak. And basically, what I read today was that it looks like there's going to be some new game modes. Gun game, infected, control were discovered, as well as a number of weapons, automatic weapons, and other weapons. There was originally a video posted by Mr. Jarani on YouTube that had done the data mining, but he has actually since taken that video down, and so there doesn't seem to be a lot of leftover information somehow. Somehow somebody didn't actually download this and copy it or anything like that, and so it seems to have disappeared off the internet, which is pretty rare. So there's not a ton of information out there about this. But and it leaves to question, is this information, is the data leak, is this stuff that was left on the cutting room floor, is this stuff that was cut out of the game, or is this stuff that is actually going to come in a future update, which I certainly hope so. I was actually talking with one of my friends last night. We were playing World War II. She was talking about how much she missed playing gun game, and so this would be a cool addition to have that back into Call of Duty. Another data mine leak about Call of Duty, though, and this is, again, something that's not confirmed really, but the microtransactions are finally live on Call of Duty, so you can actually buy coins, buy loot boxes, and everything like that. The microtransaction leak, what it is that there was actually weapons in some of these caches instead of it just being purely cosmetic items. There were mentions of epic weapons and rare weapons and stuff like that, and so that is super worrying. And this is something that I think if they had any sort of smarts about them, they definitely would not do this. And if it's something that they were thinking of doing, it's something that they definitely should pull out of the game immediately before it even drops, because after this backlash with everybody, I know everybody's heard about Battlefront 2. Nobody's going to go for this. Everybody's going to get super pissed again, especially since a big franchise like Call of Duty 2, World War II. A ton of people play this. And a ton of people play this game that may not be huge gamers otherwise, but it's got such a massive following that this would be bad news for Call of Duty in general. If you guys didn't see my video, our video yesterday, my video with Typhal85, I briefly mentioned that Destiny did a very similar thing. They got caught red-handed, basically, with their experience cap. And basically in Destiny, for those of you that don't know, once you hit level 20, you start getting bright engrams. And what those bright engrams do is they decode into mainly cosmetic gear. And that can be anything from ships that you fly in orbit to sparrows, which you cruise around on Earth or whatever planet with. So you get varying ones of those. You can get different emotes, things like that. And basically what happened was, I found out, is that the more you played the game, because when you first hit level 20, you're getting bright engrams, like boom, 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 boom. And after you get done, or after you keep leveling up, and the game will start throttling your experience. You start getting less and less bright engrams, and that makes you want to buy a loot box so you can finally get that one emote you've been looking for. They got caught red-handed doing this, and Bungie basically came forward and tried to basically play it off like they had done nothing wrong. They're like, oh no, the system wasn't working as intended. We're not happy with it either. And it was just this huge crock, and so all ththese companies, it seems like, are getting caught doing this now, and anybody who does this, I think from here going forward, at least for the next long while, and everybody needs to keep up this hate and everything like that, because it's definitely getting the message across to publishers that this is not okay in our video games, and this is not what we want in our video games. So I hope everybody keeps this up, and I'm very glad this is happening. I hope this is the end of pay to win. As far as console games are concerned, as far as phone games are concerned, I could care less. I know there's a lot of people that do enjoy phone games, and that is something I've been thinking about maybe getting into. Also, Typhal has been thinking about doing that. Is maybe we're going to start reviewing phone games, which we think would be kind of fun. I just think that it has more of a place maybe in a mobile game like that versus a game you already pay $60 for, is all. Moving on, and a little bit more of sad news today. For any of you that are Dark Souls fans or Demon Souls fans, which I am a huge Dark Souls fan, I love those games so very much. I remember the first one and the second one very fondly. I played through the third one. I haven't quite beaten it ever, but the first and second one, I remember my buddy actually introduced me to it, and he Told me he texted me. This is why I was living in a different state. He texted me one day and he was talking to me and he's just like, "You got to pick up this game. It's called Dark Souls." He's like, he told me it was like the most punishing game you've ever played. So only play it if you like to get punished. And I remember from that point on, this is a little bit how we kept in touch, is talking to each other every day about how badly Dark Souls was kicking our asses. And it was so much fun. You know, it was a lot of fun to play, and it is a really good game. But as far as the news goes, it looks like the Demon Souls servers are getting shut down early next year. And for those of you that don't maybe know what the servers actually do, the online component of Dark Souls and Demon Souls is that you can leave messages for other players to discover, whether you want to like lead them to like a say like a hidden loot chest, or you want to lead them to a you can say there's a loot chest there, and then you lead them to their deaths. That happens a lot. Invading other people's worlds, getting invaded by other people, things like that, which added a lot of fun to the game. Unfortunately, is getting shut down now. Demon Souls is a very very early game, and it's getting shut down February 28th, by the way. And so I imagine the player base just isn't there anymore. There's probably some people still playing it, like a few hundred, but it's not. It doesn't justify the cost of operating the server anymore, and I totally get it. And I wish, hopefully, at least on the PC side of things, hopefully somebody can start up like a private server and figure out a way to make that work, kind of a la World of Warcraft, how they had those private servers for a long time. Hopefully something similar like that can happen. That way, the people that do like the game and do want to keep playing like that can keep enjoying that. And lastly, in gaming news, a little bit of strange news from the developers of Fortnite. And I actually got this information from Kotaku. It looks like Epic Games has taken a strange step in actually not just banning a couple of players that were accused of cheating and making cheating software for the game Fortnite, but actually taking them to court. And one of these kids he's 14 years old, and so his mother's, obviously super unhappy about the whole situation. She's arguing that he isn't old enough to be into a contract, and she can't be, if she wasn't made aware of this contract or made aware of what he was doing, she can't be responsible for that. And basically, from what I've read a lot of different stories on this, and so it's a little bit confusing. But what it sounds like to me is this kid either claimed or did actually make the cheating software for this game, and he took part in selling the software to people, and it was an aimbot software. And for those of you that might not know what that is, it's basically a software that when you're playing like a third-person shooter or a first-person shooter like Fortnite or something like that, when you aim at an enemy, it just like pinpoint locks onto them, so it takes all the skill out of the game. You just kind of move your mouse and it just targets an enemy, and you just fire, and headshot every time. And so it is definitely cheating. And Epic Games is basically suing for loss of profits, is what they're saying. But it sounds like the mother's saying that he didn't do any of this. He didn't actually make the software or anything like that. So it's been kind of like a really back and forth. I'm reading multiple different stories about this, and so I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I don't know like what actually happened here. But if the kid did in fact make this cheating software, or he helped create this cheating software, and then he profited off this cheating software, he definitely deserves the ban. I don't know. What do you guys think as far as like if he deserves to go to court, if he deserves to get sued? Does a 14-year-old kid really have the moral compass that, say like an adult like myself or others would have to know that, yes, this is wrong, but is it, do they really know that that's that big of a deal? I don't know. When I was 14, I definitely thought of the world a little differently than I think about it now. And I wasn't as aware of consequences that my actions had as I am aware today. So, and not that he shouldn't take responsibility for it, but I don't know that maybe suing the kid is the right thing to do. But then again, maybe it is. Maybe this will serve to make a public image out of him, and anybody that thinks about doing this in the future, maybe kids will shy away from this kind of thing, and maybe this will teach them a lesson for the future. Maybe one kid has to have this happen to him, to set the example going forward. But again, what do you guys think about that? I do want to pass it off to you. If you guys have any comments about that, I'd love to know. Like I said, I did get the story off Kotaku. It's definitely worth a read. Luke Plunkett published the article, and I would definitely check it out. Those are the biggest stories I had today. Not a huge news day for gaming in general. Not a really huge day for anything. I actually had a really big struggle finding things that I thought were interesting enough to talk about today, to be honest. That's why the video is so late today. But Not a huge news day today. You know, it's just kind of here and there stuff. Nothing major. No major game announcements. No major news or anything like that. And so, you know, these were some pretty interesting stories, though, as far as like, you know, that kid, the Datamine for Call of Duty 2, and unfortunately, the Demon Souls servers getting shut down. So, again, what do you guys think about all that? Let me know in the comments below. If you like that video, if you like the video, please slap that like button. You know, it really helps myself and TyFly85 out. Know if you guys are liking our content. And if this is your first time to the channel, and it's your first time dropping by, hit that subscribe button. That way you can come back next time we make a new video. We do post content Monday through Saturday, and we are starting something new, which we did yesterday. Every Sunday, we want to revisit our week's videos, and going forward, we want to revisit the videos from the previous week, talk about them. If we have anything new to add to them, we want to talk about that. And we want to go through your guys' comments. We want to talk about those too, because we love reading your guys' comments, and we thought it was a lot of fun yesterday. So we had a really good time, and it seemed like you guys did too. So anyways, that's it for today, guys. I am TRK87, and I will see you again soon.